What if the most important conversation you have today is the one you avoid having with yourself? When was the last time you paused, truly paused, and questioned if the path you're walking is yours? Not the one laid out by your family, your culture, or the relentless chase for a predefined success, but the one that whispers to your very core. The pioneering psychologist Carl Jung left us with a challenging directive, one that demands immense courage, the act of prioritizing your own being, especially when every external force seems to pull you in the opposite direction. Our modern existence is a masterclass in diversion, keeping us locked in cycles of duty, comparison, and endless tasks that feel inescapable. From your first waking moment, the world makes its demands known: career, family, social obligations, all prescribing how you should act and what you should want. But a difficult reality remains unspoken. Each time you place someone else's needs consistently above your own, you are quietly informing your inner spirit that it is unimportant. You are turning away from that faint, internal murmur, the one that ceaselessly attempts to steer you toward a life of genuine meaning. Jung proposed that our link to the unconscious isn't a luxury. It's fundamental to our identity. Yet, so many of us mute it, dismiss it, and ignore its guidance because confronting it can be profoundly unsettling. That vague sense of discontent you sometimes feel? It isn't meaningless. It's your essence communicating, signaling that a shift is necessary, even if the idea of change is frightening. Now pause and consider. How many of your recent choices stemmed from a place of deep sincerity? And how many were motivated by apprehension? Fear of letting people down, fear of being different, fear of the unease that comes with breaking from the familiar. Jung asks us to meditate on this, for he knew a universal law. Choices not grounded in your inner reality generate only turmoil and a sense of separation. The more you drift from your true self, the more disoriented you become. But he offers a vital distinction. Choosing yourself isn't about abandoning others. This isn't a call to selfishness or to neglect those around you. It is about realizing that to offer your best to the world, you must first find harmony within. This is the core of self-love, a principle Jung examined thoroughly. Self-love is an indulgence. It's not a hall pass to avoid duty. It is the very bedrock upon which all real connections are formed. When you decide to put yourself first, a deep change occurs in your presence. You start to draw in individuals and circumstances that match your authentic nature. It's as if life itself answers your commitment to live truthfully, removing what holds you back and presenting what you genuinely require to evolve. But to access this state, you must first meet your shadows, the parts of yourself you've neglected, hidden, or dreaded. Jung defined the shadow as the concealed dimension of our psyche, holding all we wish not to recognize about ourselves. And while facing your shadow can be difficult, it is within this encounter that real change ignites. For when you embrace your shadows, when you cease resisting them and start to welcome them, you access an inner strength you never knew you possessed. This journey of integration isn't instant. It demands bravery, perseverance, and a steadfast dedication to self-knowledge. But the reward is beyond measure. Lucidity, the capacity to see past the deceptions you once accepted. Direction, a fresh feeling of meaning in your days. Serenity, a tranquility so deep that outside noise cannot disrupt it. You gain the power to decline what doesn't fit you, free from guilt, apprehension, or concern for others' opinions. Your peace is the price of ignored intuition. But most importantly, you gain the liberty to be who you are, authentically. You may be thinking, where do I even start? The answer is more straightforward than you imagine. Begin by paying attention. Every time you sense tension, hesitation, or a surge of feeling, stop and inquire. What is my deeper mind attempting to communicate? As Jung expressed, the solutions you seek outside are already inside you. You only require the bravery to listen and the resolve to act. One of life's hardest tasks is to trust our gut, particularly when it guides us toward a road that challenges all we've constructed. Maybe it's a partnership you know has run its course, a career that exhausts your spirit but feels too secure to leave, a goal you've pursued only because it appeared to be the correct move. Jung warns us that disregarding these signs isn't strength. It's a rejection of our fundamental nature. To choose yourself is to find the courage to release what no longer fits, And that is rarely simple. We hold tight to the known because transformation is scary. We tell ourselves that the familiar discomfort is safer than the unknown. But Jung pushes us to view change not as a conclusion, but as a gateway to a more real version of who we are. So, ask yourself this. What are you clinging to that has outlived its purpose? What connections, ideas, or routines are you sustaining from fear? You might feel that releasing certain people or situations would be a defeat, but the actual defeat is when you trade your inner calm just to maintain something that has lost its significance. The decision is always yours. And perhaps the most critical question you can pose right now is, am I prepared to genuinely choose me? Choosing yourself isn't a selfish act. It is a deep gesture of love and respect for the person you truly are. For too long, we've been taught that putting ourselves first is wrong, that it's a betrayal of those we care for. But the opposite is true. When you consciously decide to choose yourself, something remarkable starts to happen. It's as if a mist obscuring your sight begins to dissolve, and you perceive things with new eyes. Those who truly support you will stay. Those who drained your vitality, who never truly saw you, will naturally fade. This isn't chance. It's a direct result of an internal shift, a synchronization between your inner state and your outer world. Jung termed this synchronicity, the mysterious, powerful link between your thoughts, feelings, and the events that unfold in your life. When you start to live in accord with your truth, your external reality adjusts to reflect that change. It's as if the universe answers your genuineness by reshaping your surroundings to match it. Yet, this path demands something many find difficult: radical self-honesty. Choosing yourself isn't only about grand gestures or firm limits. Sometimes, it means accepting uncomfortable truths about your past. Perhaps you've made decisions that didn't reflect your real character. Maybe you've let people cross your lines, compromising your well-being to make them happy. You might have agreed to things you knew you should have refused, fearing to upset others. But here's the crucial part. This isn't grounds for self-judgment. Instead, it's a chance, an invitation to learn, to adjust, and to choose differently from now on. Jung believed authenticity isn't a final stop. It's a continuous voyage. It is the process of learning, changing, and growing into the truest expression of yourself. And on this road, you will meet opposition. There will be instances when you question everything, when old patterns beckon you back to comfortable, familiar ruts. But remember this, genuine growth never happens inside your comfort zone. The path to yourself is paved with uncomfortable choices. The most significant shifts take place when you brave the unknown, stepping beyond what you know. The world won't always comprehend your decision to choose yourself. Some will criticize you, doubt your choices, and maybe even withdraw because you no longer match their image of you. Yes, this can hurt, because when you choose yourself, you stop looking for outside approval. You start to understand that your value isn't determined by others' perceptions, but by what you hold to be true about yourself. This doesn't mean you must cut yourself off from everyone. Quite the opposite. When you choose yourself, your connections evolve in ways you couldn't predict. You no longer seek permission. You seek substantial bonds. You no longer accept superficial exchanges. You desire relationships that feed your soul. And in this process, you find something beautiful. The right people will always be there, not because they need something from you, but because they cherish you for who you are. As you begin to live from a place of truth, the world around you transforms. This isn't sorcery. It's the powerful interaction between your inner and outer worlds. Jung often discussed how our psyche casts our internal condition onto external reality. If you live in inner turmoil, you will attract outer conflict. If you reject who you are, you will face rejection in many forms. But if you choose yourself, if you wholly accept and embrace your being, you will start to see how the people and situations around you also begin to change. This metamorphosis isn't immediate. It's a process, and like any process, it needs patience and dedication. There will be days you feel you're regressing, moments when your old self tries to re-emerge. But this is the real test. Your capacity to remain steadfast in your decision to choose yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely. Society often celebrates self-sacrifice, but at what cost? We live in a world that glorifies giving everything to others, even at the expense of our own well-being, as if it's a virtue. But what occurs when we try to pour from an empty vessel? What happens when we give so much that we lose ourselves in the giving? Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Because only when you are whole, when you are aligned with your truth, can you truly give to others from a place of fullness, not emptiness. So dare to choose yourself, not just once, but every single day. Not only in the monumental moments, but in the smallest of choices. And observe as your life starts to transform in ways you never thought possible. Jung taught us something deeply significant. We cannot offer what we do not have. If you sacrifice your joy, your energy, or your inner peace in an attempt to make others happy, then what you are giving isn't real. And sooner or later, that imbalance will show itself in your life through emotional burnout, dissatisfaction, or a hollow feeling inside. Take a moment to look at your current relationships. How many of them energize you, lift you up, and bring you calm? And how many leave you feeling depleted, confused, or emotionally spent? Jung invites us to consider this, for our relationships are more than social links. They are mirrors reflecting our internal condition. The people we keep close are echoes of the beliefs, values, and emotional habits living within us. If you find yourself permitting someone to repeatedly violate your boundaries, it isn't necessarily because they are toxic, but because a part of you hasn't yet learned how to shield itself. Setting boundaries isn't an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-love. Jung held that the unconscious mind is always working to guide us toward our well-being. But too often, we disregard its signals. That feeling of exhaustion after interacting with certain people isn't random. It's your unconscious telling you that the relationship isn't in tune with your true essence. And if you continue to ignore these warnings, the cost will always be your inner peace. Choosing yourself means establishing boundaries, not as barriers to keep people out, but as pathways to healthier, more genuine connections. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you are simultaneously saying yes to your truth, your aspirations, and your well-being. This doesn't mean you should cut off everyone, but rather that you must be truthful with yourself about which relationships nourish you and which ones deplete you. As you start to live from this place of authenticity, something incredible occurs. Your intuition amplifies. That inner voice, once weak or unclear, now guides you with greater assurance. You begin making decisions that not only make sense logically, but also feel correct deep in your soul. This is the power of choosing yourself. It reconnects you with your intuition, with that internal compass that was always there, waiting for you to trust it. Jung described intuition as one of the purest connections with the unconscious. It's that inexplicable knowing, that gut feeling when something is either right or wrong. But to truly hear it, you must quiet the noise of the external world. This means releasing the need for approval, detaching from societal pressures, and learning to trust yourself. Because, ultimately, no one else can truly know what is best for you. When you decide to choose yourself, you are sending a powerful message to existence. I am ready to live in harmony with my truth. And existence answers. Suddenly, you begin to attract individuals, chances, and experiences that resonate with who you truly are. This doesn't mean life will be without tests, but those tests will no longer feel like a constant battle. Instead, they will become stepping stones, opportunities for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. By choosing to live authentically, you also begin to experience what Jung called synchronicity. These seemingly random, yet perfectly timed events in your life aren't just coincidences. They are a direct reflection of your inner alignment. When you are in tune with yourself, the external world starts to synchronize with you as well. Doors open effortlessly. The right people enter your life at the perfect time. Everything begins to flow in ways that once seemed impossible. This is the beauty of embracing your true self. When you honor your inner world, the external world responds in kind. And in that space of deep alignment, you will find not only a greater sense of fulfillment, but also a profound peace. The kind that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. When you choose yourself and decide to honor your truth, the universe seems to conspire to support you. The right opportunities arrive seemingly out of nowhere. The right people appear at the ideal moment, Everything begins to move with a rhythm that once felt unattainable. It's as if the entire fabric of reality shifts to match your newfound sense of purpose. Suddenly, what felt distant is now within your reach. But this doesn't mean the way will be free of hurdles. In fact, some of the biggest challenges arise exactly when you decide to choose yourself. It's as if the world, so used to the version of you that aimed to please everyone, suddenly resists your change and tries to test your resolve. You might feel the weight of outside expectations pressing on you, trying to drag you back into old habits. The doubts will surface. The fears will emerge. The lure to return to the familiar will be powerful. This is where your true power resides. Every time you reaffirm your decision, every time you prioritize your inner calm over external demands, you are fortifying the link with your authentic self. The key is to remain firm, even when uncertainty appears. It's completely natural to feel scared when leaving the known behind, even if you know it no longer helps you. But remember this, every time you choose to remain in a place that no longer brings you joy, you are shutting the door on something that could profoundly transform you. The great psychologist Carl Jung taught us that change does not happen without resistance, but that resistance isn't a sign you are making a mistake. Rather, it's proof you are moving forward. It is the friction between the old and the new, the tension between who you were and who you are becoming. One of the most powerful ways to move through this resistance is through deep self-inquiry. Ask yourself, what do I truly hold dear? What matters most to me? What kind of existence do I want to create? When you gain clarity on your values and aims, it becomes much simpler to make choices that align with them. And as you do, you begin to attract people and circumstances that resonate with that same energy. The world around you shifts in response to your inner harmony. It's also vital to remember you are not alone on this journey. While choosing yourself may feel like a solitary act initially, in truth, you are carving a path that will naturally draw the right people toward you. Those who will support you, celebrate you, and walk with you. These individuals won't ask you to change to fit into their lives. They will welcome you exactly as you are, because they, too, have chosen to live in alignment with their truth. When you reach this point, something within you shifts forever. Life no longer feels like a constant fight. The decisions that once seemed daunting now come with lucidity and confidence. And most importantly, you discover a sense of peace that is no longer dependent on external situations. Because, as Jung taught us, true peace can only come from within. That inner peace is the natural outcome of honoring your needs, respecting your boundaries, and living in full alignment with your values. But it's more than a personal gift. It's something you can share with the world. When you live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes a light for those still searching for their own way. And in this process, you don't just transform your own life. You create a ripple that deeply affects everyone around you. Take a moment to imagine what your life could be if you released everything that no longer serves you. How would you feel if you let go of the relationships that drain your spirit, the commitments that don't resonate with your soul, and the expectations you never truly wanted to fulfill? Picture the freedom, the lightness, the clarity you could experience. This isn't an impossible fantasy. It's a real possibility, fully within your grasp. All it requires is the willingness to choose you. When you make this choice, you begin to see that you aren't losing anything by letting go of what no longer aligns with you. On the contrary, you are creating space for what truly matters. You are crafting a life that not only makes sense, but also fills you with purpose and joy. And that in itself is a transformation worth embracing. This is the gift Jung wished for all of us to find. The profound understanding that true change starts the moment we cease searching outside ourselves for what has always been within. It is the moment we choose to live from a place of authenticity, embracing who we truly are, not who we were conditioned to be. And when this happens, something extraordinary unfolds. You begin to feel truly alive. No longer are you trapped by others' expectations, nor do you feel bound by the rigid demands of a society that constantly tells you who you should be, how you should act, and what defines success. Instead, you start tuning into that inner voice, the one that was always there, urging you to look deeper, to recognize that something greater awaits if you have the courage to pursue it. This feeling of liberation is priceless. It's as if a heavy burden has been lifted from your shoulders, allowing you to breathe fully, deeply, freely, perhaps for the first time in a very long while. However, attaining this freedom requires great courage. It demands that you confront not only the external pressures that have shaped your life, but also the internal fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs that have held you back. Jung reminded us that our greatest adversary isn't outside of us, it's within. It's that persistent inner whisper that says, "What if I'm not enough? What if I fail? What if I disappoint everyone?" But here lies the truth, the secret so many never realize. That voice isn't your truth. It's merely an echo of past experiences, a reflection of conditioning you've absorbed over your lifetime. Every time you choose to confront it, every time you act despite the fear, you are dismantling those limiting beliefs, piece by piece, clearing space for something new to emerge. This is the true power of choosing yourself. When you make this choice, you break free from the invisible chains that have kept you bound. As you walk further down this path, something remarkable begins to happen. The things that once seemed so important, the endless chase for validation, the need to prove your worth, the compulsion to please others, begin to lose their grip on you. You no longer feel the urge to compete, to compare, or to conform. Instead, you discover a profound sense of fulfillment in simply being yourself. And it is in this state of authenticity that you uncover your true power. This power has nothing to do with controlling others, nor is it about dominance or force. It is a power that comes from a deep connection with your inner being, that part of you that has always known who you are and what you need. It is a silent, unwavering force, yet it is unstoppable, because when you are aligned with yourself, when you stand in your truth, nothing and no one can divert you from your path. The beauty of this process is that it doesn't only transform your life, it transforms the lives of those around you. When you choose yourself, you become a living example of what it means to be authentic. You inspire others not by preaching, not by convincing, but simply by being. Your presence alone encourages others to question their own beliefs, to challenge their own fears, and to step into their own truth. This is something Carl Jung understood deeply. He knew that individual transformation has a ripple effect, that every time a person chooses authenticity, they contribute to a collective shift in consciousness. Because when we live from our true selves, our relationships change, our communities change, even the world itself begins to change. But don't be mistaken, this journey isn't linear. There will be days when you feel strong, empowered, and completely in tune with yourself. Then there will be days when doubt creeps in, when uncertainty clouds your vision, making you question everything. These moments of doubt aren't signs of failure. They are an integral part of the process. Jung saw them as opportunities, chances to deepen your connection with yourself, to reflect, to learn, and to grow. Each challenge, each setback is an invitation to shed the old, to step into something greater, to move closer to your true essence. And in those moments when the path feels uncertain, it is essential to remember this. You are not alone. Although the journey toward authenticity may seem solitary at first, you will inevitably find people, experiences, and resources that support you along the way. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more aligned you become with those who resonate with your energy. And when that happens, the journey no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes a homecoming. Perhaps a book, a conversation, or even a video like this one reaches you at the exact moment you need it most. These aren't mere coincidences. They are signs, signals from the universe confirming you are on the right path. Every moment, every decision, every challenge you've overcome has led you here, to this very instant. And though the future may seem uncertain, there's one undeniable truth. As long as you continue to choose yourself, you will be building a life that is truly worth living. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to be unapologetically you, not the version others expect, nor the one you created just to fit in, but your purest essence, the real you that exists when no one else is watching. Carl Jung once revealed that the true work of life does not lie in searching outside of ourselves, but in unraveling the deep mysteries that reside within. And when you finally make the conscious choice to embrace yourself, you come to a profound realization. Everything you are searching for has always been within you. This is a call to action. Life is far too short to remain trapped in the need for external validation, to ignore your own desires, to silence your dreams, to meet the expectations of others. The time to take the first step is now. The time to confront your fears, to acknowledge your shadows, and to listen to the quiet whispers of your intuition is today. The moment to reconnect with your true self is right in front of you. Because when you choose yourself, you do more than transform your own life. You also change the world around you. Your energy shifts, your perspective expands, and your very presence begins to inspire those who cross your path. And now, what comes next? This is the moment to reflect on everything you have just heard. Ask yourself, which aspects of my life are truly aligned with my authentic self? What can I let go of to live with greater authenticity? What is holding me back from embracing the person I was always meant to be? Remember, every small step matters. Every single choice you make in favor of your true self is a victory. And most importantly, you are not alone on this journey. This space, this community, this channel exists to remind you of your infinite potential and to guide you along your path of self-discovery. If this message has resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Extend its impact beyond yourself. Share this video with someone who might need it. Someone who is searching for answers, facing their own challenges. Someone who might need this exact moment of clarity. Every interaction matters. Every comment, every like, every share helps this message reach more people. People who, just like you, are searching for a deeper connection with their true selves. Imagine the impact we can create together. A community of individuals committed to living from a place of authenticity, courage, and self-acceptance. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. What part of this message spoke to your heart? What steps are you willing to take today to choose yourself, to honor your true essence? Every word you share matters, not just to me, but to everyone who is on this same journey, seeking their own truth, their own clarity. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to The Depth Within and activate the notification bell so you never miss another message like this. Together, we can bring this reflection to every corner, to every person who needs to be reminded that the greatest power of all lies in the simple yet profound act of choosing to be who you truly are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. But above all, thank you for being part of this movement, this awakening, this shared journey towards self-discovery. Never forget, you are not alone. Change begins with you, and the world desperately needs more people with the courage to embrace their authentic selves. I'll see you in the next video. And always remember, life truly begins the moment you decide to choose yourself.